feel really compelled to do this live today. I am in the middle of contemplating my whole career, my life's purpose, the work that I do here on Substack and in other places, and to a certain extent, my whole identity. So as people get on this live, I am going to welcome questions, comments. I don't even know if anyone cares, but I am just using this platform right now to speak my truth, get some things off of my chest, and in the process, this may or may not help somebody else, but I just feel the need to do this. So I'm seriously considering leaving the spiritual community for a number of reasons, some external, some internal. This past eclipse season has been tumultuous, to say the least. It has ushered in the worst case scenarios for some people, but I'm yet to come across anyone who has had a powerful upswing, joyous, blissful experience during this eclipse. Now, I know that sounds crazy, right? Because we're spiritual and we're always like following our bliss and sharing light and love and seeking the best and being optimistic. Well, I'm a little bit sick and tired of the toxic positivity that seems to be encompassing the spiritual community. Now, here's the thing. I have quite extreme views on spirituality. One of which is that spirituality is not religious. It's not about bondage. It's not about restriction. It's not about holding people back. Spirituality is actually about freedom. Now, in my experience, I'm of Jamaican heritage, as in Jamaica, the island in the Caribbean, as in Bob Marley. Yeah, all of that. And a lot of people don't know that. So I'm saying it with a little bit of attitude. Yes, I'm British, but my heritage is Jamaican. And when you come from a culture like Caribbean, African, Indian, South American, even like the Celtic cultures, spirituality is actually a series of tools and methods for survival. It is often born out of real darkness, real struggle, real sufferation. And I find that the longer and the deeper I immerse myself in the spiritual community, it's like the more people are offering butterflies and rainbows and everything will be fine and we'll all be okay and we'll all rise victorious. Here's the truth about spirituality. Spirituality is about connecting with your soul, with humanity as a collective, with others, your community, your village, your tribe. Yes, I can use the word tribe because, as you can see, I have tribal heritage and I don't see why anybody else can't use it because that is a bit too PC for me. But anyway, spirituality is born out of the need to rise above your circumstances. It's not about looking at the light and the positive and being afraid of the dark. Now, here's the truth. Much of the world is cloaked in fear at the moment because the world is at war. There is disease. There is trafficking. There is mass drug addiction. There are major health crises. There are very dark things happening in the world. And from what I can see, a lot of the spiritual community that are available on platforms like Substack, YouTube, etc., they just want to talk about we'll all be fine. Let's band together and everything will be good. And I'm guilty of doing this myself sometimes. But here's the truth. Life is pretty difficult at the moment for lots of people. And telling people that everything's going to be okay when their loved one is about to pass and transition, or they themselves are about to go through a life-changing event, is just not going to cut the mustard. We can no longer be putting lipstick on a pig. Now, the reason I'm having this moment is that the second of the eclipses, the partial solar eclipse, was conjunct my Sun, Mercury and Mars in the third decan of Virgo, and also conjunct my Pluto at 1 degree of Libra. Now, you don't have to be an astrologer to kind of grasp that that is pretty intense going. That is some pretty intense stuff. Now, I'll just give you a bit of insight. The third decan of Virgo is symbolized by a sarcophagus, which is what the Egyptians used for burial. So that third decan really speaks to preparing bodies for burial, death, dismembered bodies, all the gory stuff that happens when people either die because of war, disease, like decomposing bodies, the grim, difficult stuff. And over the years, I have been sanitizing my delivery for a number of reasons. One is that I get a lot of attacks, most of which happen in a one-to-one personal scenario, not publicly, so they can't be challenged, where people have accused me of fear-mongering, of manipulating, of just like being a problem, basically. But here's the truth. Dark things happen in the world. The word live backward is evil. There's lots of evil. Humanity is evil. We are not all love and light. We're just not. And the truth is that my gift was born out of death and murder. So my maternal grandmother, who I got the gift from, was murdered by witchcraft at the age of 40 in a road traffic accident. And she passed her gift on to me. My significant placements for metaphysics are in this third decan of really grim death, murder, and mystery. For many years, the readings that I did were for people who had been murdered, who had been in prostitution, drug addiction, people who had died prematurely in house fires, like really dark stuff. And as my practice grew and I became more and more public, more and more people wanted to shut it down, and I let it happen. But here's the truth. Right now, we are living in treacherous times. And for those people who do not have the ability to remove the cloak of fear and look at the reality of what's going on, then I'm just not for you. And this is me making this public message. Like, I'm done sanitizing. I'm done holding back. I'm done pretending. If you cannot deal with the messages that I deliver, you're no longer welcome, because the people that have in the past been able to receive my messages have saved lives, saved their family's inheritance, protected themselves from pain, accidents, and whatever else. And for the most part, I don't hear from those people just because they actually appreciate the work that I do. Now, here's the thing. This sanitized light and love, butterflies and rainbow spirituality movement is just not for me. And I feel very, very strongly that with all of the skills and talents that I have, the ability that I have to do numerous things, I'm seriously considering if my gift and talents are best used in the spiritual community, which would seem like a natural fit. However, the vast majority of people that actually come to me and want to access my gifts don't class themselves as spiritual or religious. They're just people going through a hard time and struggling with life. So this video is really about me getting this off my chest, about me declaring to anybody who cares to listen and the universe itself that I am finally prepared to tell the truth. I'm going to stop sanitizing my messages. I'm going to deliver them as they come. Raw, unapologetic, life-saving, life-changing messages directly from the darkness often. Now, don't get me wrong. I do not work with dark magic. I do not put spells and curses on people, even though I can break them. What I do is I go into the darkest crevices of humanity and I shine a light. So if you're not about that and you're subscribed to me, this is your calling card to leave. If you know somebody who is looking for the truth, who is not afraid of the darker stratospheres of life, please invite them to come over, because at this point, I can no longer hide. I can no longer sanitize. I can no longer pretend that everything's going to be all right. We've currently got 3i Atlas streaming through the solar system. It's not going to be okay. It's a comet. It's an omen. Something bad or many bad things are about to happen. And the ancients knew and acted accordingly. But in this day and age, we say, oh, it must just be about light and love and this support for humanity from the aliens. No, there is about to be a bigger war, more death, more destruction. In fact, those that were not born for a time such of this will be exiting very soon. And in the same way I predicted mass exits before COVID, before even knowing what it was, and people told me I shouldn't say that because it's fear-mongering, it's exactly the same energy we're facing now. And it's okay for human beings to die, because we will all die. And if that scares you, then you're not living in reality. None of us will live forever. None of us will have legacies that live forever. We are here to be guardians of the earth, to learn the lessons that life has to offer, and transition back to spirit. We are all souls or spirits having a human experience. We're not here to be permanent. So, if what I'm saying feels really harsh and difficult and dark to you, that's fine. I'm just not for you. But if you are ready and willing to hear the truth, please join me, because moving forward, the group sessions that I'll be holding, I will no longer sanitize. I will offer circles of protection and grounding, because we all need it, but I'm going to tell you the truth. And if there is something difficult entering your life and that message comes through me, it's for your good. And if the world is at war and there is sex trafficking and drug trafficking and addiction is increasing and disease is increasing and human beings are suffering, and those messages come through, I'll be sharing those also. And I am just so close to being done with this so-called spiritual community. I don't even want to identify with some of the people that call themselves spiritual, because a lot of them are fake. They are not real psychics, I can tell you that, because they can sanitize their message excessively well. A lot of people out here telling stories and fairy tales for views, for likes, for followers, and they are not telling people the truth. The truth is the earth is really dark right now. We are going through major transition. And if we do not wake up and face the darkness and the difficulties, we will never live the lives that we say we want to live. And in fact, many of those visions and goals and dreams that we have of life are not going to work out the way that we imagine they will. There are no fairy tales. The Grimm brothers were drug addicts. C.S. Lewis, drug addicts. Now, let's just be a little bit more realistic and know that Disney was all about propaganda. Let's be really, really super spiritual and galvanize ourselves so that we can come together and help people navigate true difficulties. Like, the West is so whitewashed, it is unbelievable. Anybody that comes from a continent where they have seen real struggle, real disease, real disaster, are more likely to be spiritual than anyone who has lived a life of any form of privilege, myself included. Now, what I will say is that where we do have privilege, let's put those resources to good use, but we still must galvanize to deal with the real darkness of the world. True spirituality comes out of sufferation. I'm sorry, and human beings have been suffering for eons, and we will continue to suffer. Let's stop striving for the illusions and the fakery and the passive income nonsense. Let's just get into the reality that abundance is not manna from heaven, that you have to show up and work. That spirituality means connecting with the souls of other people and supporting people and making changes where we can. Spirituality is not about sitting in front of a man at a pulpit who's going to tell us how good or bad we've been. It's not about Santa Claus at Christmas. It's not even about the fairies in the woods. It is about human spirit. And so I have to tell my truth. I don't know about anybody else's truth, but my truth is that the world is dark. We are going through very difficult times. And the longer we remain in this cloak of fear, in this pursuit of light, love, butterflies, and rainbows, it's the longer we avoid the truth and the real work that we're here to do. So whether I leave the spiritual community or not is still in the offing. I'll be fasting this weekend and making a final decision. But in the meantime, I just really feel the need to share this message. I hope this message reaches whoever needs to hear it. Like, this is not a personal attack on anybody, but you know who you are. And when you get this message, just know that my gift is stronger than ever. It will not be repressed or subdued. And I will continue to share my truth in greater ways than I've ever shared it before. And if you watching this are struggling with any of the things that I've spoken about, get in touch with me. There'll be no judgment from me. I'm here to help who really wants help. I'm here to guide those who are really under the energy of death, destruction, misery, struggle, and sufferation. I'm here to help people who are living in the real world with real life and are ready to throw off the cloak of fear and step into real love, the love that actually matters, not the romantic fairy tale Disney type, the love that galvanizes the human spirit. So I'm just going to let you know, things are going to get a lot worse before they get better. But the more of us that face the reality and face the truth, the more of us will survive. Okay, this is not about reaching the top of the mountain. It's not about being the next big billionaire. This is about human survival. It's about survival of the earth. It's about the work that actually matters, and I just refuse to sugarcoat it anymore. So I hope this message is received with the intention in which it is shared. And if not, oh well, just so be it. And for those of you that have taken the time to join and watch, thank you for joining me. And for those of you that see this message later, please share it with anyone that you think it may be applicable to. And I wish everybody all the best during this really difficult time. It will get harder, but galvanizing and coming together is the only way out. True spirituality is the only way out. Thanks for watching.